Alright, g'day. It's the Travel Professor here. Here we are in the land down under, Australia. We're in the far north Queensland, in the town of Cairns. The Travel Professor's here giving his research on the Pacific and tourism in the Pacific. And we're fortunate enough to have Mr. Apisalome Movono from Fiji Islands. He's going to tell us a little bit about his research into tourism and the impacts, both positive and negative, that have occurred in Fiji. Appy, welcome to the Travel Professor show. So just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your research, please.
Thank you very much, Travel Professor. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to contribute to your session. My name is Api. I'm from Fiji. I'm an indigenous person from Buddha Bay, and I've completed my master's. I'm currently doing my PhD with Griffith University, and my background is in marine affairs and tourism, but right now my work is focused on resilience and sustainable livelihoods in indigenous communities in Fiji. And to be quite frank, I'll just echo the sentiments of so many authors who've mentioned that tourism is a double-edged sword, and for Fiji that's what it is. It brings so many benefits as well as non-benefits, and it contributes to Fiji's economy. In fact, it's Fiji's largest economic earner. It contributes a large chunk of Fiji's GDP, and it brings wealth and development to Fiji's indigenous community.
Sure. Now, what do you think, in your experience, what would you say that the tourists enjoy the most about Fiji?
Well, for one thing, the Aussie tourists who make up the majority of visitors that come to Fiji just love the sun, sea and sand. And of course, because it's cheap for them, that's why they love it. Yeah.
So access is a big part of
yes.
the tourism, getting the direct flights in.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the host-guest relationship. So, any sort of what are the sort of positives and potentially negatives of that?
Well, in terms of host-guest relationships, I'd say that, well, based on my research and my experience, a lot of the locals gain a lot in terms of the interaction with the Aussies, the opportunity to embrace the English language and learn a bit about the culture of tourists, and just to enrich their experiences. There's a lot of borrowing, there's a lot of exchanges between guests and visitors. I think the biggest takeaway for our local hosts or people that work in frontline tourism is that encounter, learning and exchanging of cultures.
And what sort of, if you talked about destination image of Fiji, what are sort of the words that come to mind from the tourist perspective, or from what you've heard?
Well, from what I've heard, Fiji is value for money. For a lot of people I've met while on research in Vatola Line, they've mentioned that Fiji is as cheap as chips, as they say here. Yeah, that's why most of them come, but also because of the friendliness of the people, the exotic image that they have of Fiji. Some of them enjoy the culture, but because it's accessible to a lot of them, it's cheap. A lot of it is packaged. I think that's why most of the tourists come. Yeah.